And let's thank God Sister Washington is here this morning. Amen. She's been in Louisiana, amen, with her family, amen, in the passing of her mother. Amen. Amen. Lord, thank you that you knew that they can handle it. Amen. Because I don't think if something happened to my mama Monique, I don't think I'd be no good for a few days. Plus a few years. Amen. So I celebrate you guys for your strength. Amen. Amen. Now I will say this, you don't have to keep a hard face for us though. Amen. You need to break down and scream, do what you gotta do. We ain't gonna judge you. Amen. 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 Mark chapter 8. Verse 34, if you're there, shout out there. Y'all do me a favor, if you have a Facebook page, if you see this going live, go share the video. Amen. Share the video. Amen. Let's spread the word. Amen. Amen. Let's spread the word. Mark chapter 8, verse 34. If you're there, shout it loud. I'm there. Amen. From the New American Standard Version of the Bible. And he summoned the crowd with his disciples and said to them, if anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake and for the gospel's sake will save it. For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? For what will a man give in exchange for his soul? For whoever is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will also be ashamed of him when he comes into the glory of his Father with the holy angels. I want to talk about again the right perception of discipleship. The right perception of discipleship. Thank God for all of you. Amen. Y'all don't walk too much this morning. Amen. I don't have a lot of time. Amen. Y'all don't walk. Amen. Amen. You musicians, y'all take your break and come back and stay close. Amen. We started this conversation, I believe, was it Tuesday night? We started this conversation. I only did one point, but we've been talking about perception. We talked about how perception is everything. Perception is what connects us to our world. It is my endeavor. I've been trying to lay this foundation to those of you that I cover as pastor, and those of you who are visiting with us, those of you who are even watching us via live stream. It is my conviction to help all of us to understand that if we don't see God right, we can't serve him right.
Amen.
I said if we don't see him right, we can't serve him right. And so what I'm trying to help us to understand is that perception is everything. I also laid the foundation to help us to understand that what God does in the area of perception is that he takes the scales off of our eyes so that we can see, because in seeing he has direct access to our minds. So he's trying to train our eyes so that he can get to our mind, so that he can train our mind on what it means to be connected to him. What we've got to understand, brothers and sisters, is that in the area of perception, there is no connection to God without suffering. I said there is no connection to God without suffering. Now, I know many of us want to have an experience where we never have any bad days. We never have to go through any strain. We never have to go through any struggle. But what you've got to understand, it is what I go through that connects me closer to my God. And so what I wanted us to understand in the context, if you remember the first installation or segment of this particular text, we started in verse 27. We talked about how Jesus took the boys off the coast of Caesarea Philippi, asked them, who do men say that I am in the area of perception? How do they perceive me? They started grouping, because we talked about one area of perception deals with similarities. It deals with proximity. And we talked about how they began grouping. We talked about how they started to group him. Some say you're John the Baptist. Some say you're Elijah. Some say you're just one of those other prophets. But Jesus said, all right, how do you perceive me? Peter jumps up and says, I know who you are. Thou art the Christ. You are the Son of the living God. Jesus said, shh, don't tell nobody. Then he begins to say to them, I've got to go to Jerusalem. I've got to suffer. I've got to be rejected by the elders. I've got to be rejected by the chief priests and the scribes. It is necessary that I go. It is necessary that I'm rejected. It is necessary that all of these things happen. But then he says, I'm going to die, but in 3 days, I'm going to get up. Peter and the boys missed the whole revelation. Peter pulls him to the side and said, player, I'm not feeling all of this dying stuff because they didn't perceive him right. They thought that he was going to come and overthrow Rome and set up this big kingdom here on earth. They couldn't fathom the fact that the kingdom that he was talking about, he had to die and come back in order to usher it in. Here is why. Thank you, Lord. Because Jesus's look, his picture was bigger than just one empire. See, they were looking for Jesus to come and overthrow Rome, but Jesus was looking to open up a door that every man and woman could be saved. See, that's why you got to understand in the area of perception, sometimes when you're the visionary, you see the bigger picture. That's why you got to know you can't follow people that don't have no vision. I wish I had it. I said you can't follow people that don't have no vision. If your vision, now let me say this, my vision is not just to keep this building together. My vision is to take the whole street. See, you got to realize sometimes people's vision is limited to one particular thing because what they don't understand is that we serve a progressive God. Our God is not sitting in heaven twiddling his thumbs. He's making things happen. That's why the God I serve, the Bible said he knows the end from, I don't have long, I better talk now. I said he knows the end from the beginning. He's already predestined every step. That's why I understand why the songwriter said the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord and he delights in his ways. Why? Because he understands that anybody that's connected to God, he knows how to submit himself to the will of God so that God can order his steps, which means everything I'm doing, even though I don't understand it, I know that God has a bigger picture in mind. And what we got to do, that's why I love this text. This text helps us because when Jesus says after he tells them what's got to happen, he says to them, now anybody who wants to be connected to me, he's got to deny himself. Now notice he says, anybody who wishes, that word wishes in the Greek literally means, we talked about this Tuesday, to desire, which means that you as the individual have got to make a willful decision that above everything else, you're going to follow God. Now, this is what I said on Tuesday. How in the world do you make the decision to follow me and then you try to dictate how you follow? He says that if you wish to come after me, here's the first thing. You got to know what you're getting into. Oh, I said you got to know what you're getting into. Now, let me say this. There are some of us in this room that we got to go on and admit and be free today because we have bad theology. We've got bad theology to the extent that you think that just because you are saved, that you are immune to trouble. That you think just because you gave God your heart and the preacher your hand and you got membership at this church, that it's going to free you from going through struggles. I got a word for you. Every day of your life, there's going to be something that you got to go through. Wait a minute, come here. Let me see if I can free you for real. Some of the stuff you got to go through is not from an outside antagonist. Some of the hell you got to go through is the fight between you, yourself, and you. You got to fight within yourself because some of us got to go on and testify. I got some stuff in me, let's be honest, that I like and I don't want to let go. And that is the part of you that God is coming after. He's coming after the part of you that don't want to surrender. He's coming after the part of you that look at me like you want to. I said he's coming after the part of you that you don't want to let go. Pastor, I just like the way I cuss folk out good. But he's coming after your mouth. I'm talking to you. I said he's coming after your mouth. If you got a patience problem, he's coming after your patience. If you got an attitude, he's coming after your attitude. right here and tell you the problem, Lord, my honest problem, Jesus, my honest problem, Jesus, finally y'all push me right here. Jesus, I let it go if I didn't like it. Lord, I said I let it go if I didn't like it. Now this ain't for you Sagini folk. This only for me, Angie, Shan, Nicole, and Sean. I know it's wrong, but it feels good. I said I know it's wrong, but it feels good. See, that's the part. See, y'all don't want to be honest, but you be walking around to, oh Lord, I just made a horrendous mistake, Lord. Lord, I feel so dirty. You lying. You is a lying woman. You don't feel dirty. You got sweaty. Lord, I said you got sweaty. Don't wake that thing up and let's be honest. Sin can feel good. But what you got to understand is what God wants from us is a surrendered life that says, God, in spite of how it feels, I'm going to do what you say. And if you say I can't have it, then I'm not going to have it. If you say I can't do it, then I'm not. Watch this. Not because I don't want to, but because you told me not to. I wish I had 10 of y'all to touch your neighbor and say, give it up because he said so. Got to deny yourself. I got 7 minutes. You got to follow him. Somebody shout, follow him. That word follow is a kolotheo in the Greek. It means to be a companion, to be disciple. We got to learn how to go and be disciple. I closed Tuesday night telling you that in the area of discipleship and a companion, you got to learn how to keep following. It takes your energy. It takes your effort. It takes you doing some work. It's not always about God doing everything. Tell somebody, tell them you got something to do. Here's my second point. This is what I'm trying to get. I'm going to preach this one point in 6 minutes and I'm leaving. You must identify with Christ in suffering and even death. Now, Tuesday we talked about the battle between self-indulgence and self-denial. This point, I want to look at the juxtaposition of saving a life versus losing a life. Because Jesus makes this surprising statement. Notice what he says. If a man wishes to save his life, he's got to lose it. And whoever shall lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. So the person, watch this, who abandons his life, who sacrifices and gives all that he is and all that he has for Christ, that person will save his life.
Amen. Amen.
But the person who keeps his life to himself, that is what he has and seeks to get more and more in this life, that man is going to lose his life. The person who saves his life, who seeks to avoid aging or decay or dying and denies Christ, he's going to lose his life. The one who seeks to make his life more comfortable and secure beyond what is necessary and neglects Christ, he's going to lose his life. The one who seeks to gain wealth, power, fame, and who compromises the Christian values, he will lose his life. Because what you got to understand, brothers and sisters, life is not about what you have. And as long as you're trying to hold on to stuff, let me ask a question to 5 of y'all that'll be honest. How many can testify the stuff that I end up losing is the stuff I've been fighting for? Boy, y'all don't like the truth. I said the stuff that I typically lose is the stuff that is connected to the earth that God don't want me to have, and that's the stuff I be fighting for. You try to fight to hold on to a car that you can't afford. Anybody tell you to get that car in the first place? You knew you couldn't afford. You went to the dealership speaking in tongue, lying, talking about I'm gonna name it and claim it, call it and haul it in the name of Jesus. It ain't about that. Can your budget pay the bill, nigga? that will always, that's why everybody in this room, we dread looking older. So we put stuff on our face to make ourselves look younger. The inference is, I want to make sure that I hold on to my youth. Now here's the problem, y'all. I love y'all. I love you. Love you. I love you. Love you. You hear me? Everybody in this room gonna get old. I said everybody in this room, you gonna get old. I don't care. You boogers can shoot all the Botox in your face. You boogers be walking around talking about smile. I am smiling. You still gonna be old. Ain't no need of even us men. We walk around taking these old stupid pills. Man, you better put that blue pill up or it blow your heart up. I said that, trying to bring sexy back. Sexy is gone. Button your shirt up and recognize you old. Whoa. Walk around like you sham. You ain't sham. If you anywhere on color, you see the little pimp guy be standing on y'all skin. Now how you gonna be a pimp in your white dingy? Walk around with a cane and a feather. And the feather look dead as the bird it came off of. Whoever shall lose his life, watch this y'all, I got to go. Whoever shall lose his life for the gospel's sake, he's the one that's going to say, which says, watch this, that if I have the right perception of the importance of the gospel, then I recognize nothing trumps the gospel. The person who keeps his life, I'm close. Look, see, Andrew, see. The person who keeps his life, he's gonna lose it. Watch this, because what the Lord, I'm gonna shout right out of here. What the Lord wants us to understand in this text is just like I'm about to go make a sacrifice for you. You got to learn how to make a sacrifice for me. Lord, that's why you got to learn that what you go through is important. Because just like Jesus says, the reason why I'm going to suffer and I'm going to die is so that everybody who's not saved can be connected to me. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get yourself together. And I want you to understand that every day is not going to be a good day. Every day is not going to be a day where you shout and dance because everything is going right. There are going to be some days that some stuff is going to go wrong. But what you got to understand is that every person who suffers for me, he's going to reign with me. Just like Jesus suffered and he died and he went back to heaven. And the Bible said he's seated at the right hand of the Father. Here's what Jesus says. If you want to reign like I'm reigning, you got to know how to suffer like I suffer. You got to know how to give up some stuff. And I got a question for y'all. What are you willing to give up to be connected to God? Because you can't be connected to God and hold on to all your stuff. Some of y'all, I need to prophesy. Some of y'all need to let some of your baggage go. You like me, you got baggage from your past. You got baggage in your emotions. You got baggage in your mind. But the devil is a liar. I need 10 of y'all to help me preach and testify. I came to get free. I got to let this baggage go. I got to sacrifice whatever I got to sacrifice so that I can get closer to God. I need you to grab somebody by the hand, look somebody in the face and say, neighbor, if you learn how to suffer, you can learn how to reign. You didn't tell nobody. I said, if you learn how to suffer, touch somebody, tell them I'm getting ready to reign. I said, touch somebody. somebody, here is what he's been trying to tell the boys. If y'all learn how to suffer with me, every piece of suffering releases another level of glory. Oh, that's what I'm trying to get to. I said every time you suffer, it releases a piece of glory. And so y'all come back. When I get to Mark chapter 9, I'm going to show you why he took them on the Mount of Transfiguration. Because what you got to understand is that I always need suffering to release my next level. And that's what I came to tell some of y'all. If you're looking for God to move you to the next level, you got to go through some stuff. I need y'all to grab somebody by the hand and look somebody in the face. Y'all looking, but you ain't listening. I said, grab somebody. Grab them by the hand. I got 2 more minutes. Look them in their face and tell them, neighbor, the reason why I know that you really been blessed is because you survived all the hell you've been through. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, you are not blessed because of what you have. Tell them you are not blessed because of where you live. But say, hey, neighbor, say, neighbor, the reason why I know I'm blessed because I've been through hell, but I gave it all up so that God can be magnified. I gave it all up, my lying ways, my hellish mind, my stinking thinking. I gave it all up, all the motels, when I got motels, I gave it all up. I said that for the sake of Jesus Christ. But y'all help me have church. Grab your one more neighbor, look them in their face, and tell them, neighbor, nobody gives up for God, and God won't bless them. I need you to look at a neighbor and tell your neighbor, you qualify for the next level because of what you've been through. Everything you cry for, you're qualified for the next level. Abusive relationship, you're qualified. People wrote you off, you're qualified. You went through molestation, you're qualified. You went through rape, you're qualified. Had a baby out of wedlock, you're qualified. Family said you wouldn't be nothing, you're qualified. Because if I gave it all up to step into God, God told me to tell you, I died for you, so you can live for me. Lean on your neighbor. I got a big job here. Lean on your neighbor. Y'all looking, but you ain't listening. I said, lean on your neighbor and tell your neighbor, whatever you gave up, God's about to bless you. Whatever you let go, God's about to bless you. The hell you survived, God's about to bless you. Y'all do me a favor. Don't wait till the battle is over. Open your mouth. Shout. I wish I had a church in here. Tell your neighbor, you're looking at a miracle. You're looking at somebody that's been through hell. I walked up that way. I said, look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, say, I survived the unimaginable. I survived stuff I can't tell nobody.